What's up, Magic Makers? Drew and Justin here.
Hi.
So my husband, Justin, makes many of the candles in the shop, but he has several Deity candles in the shop. At present, he actually doesn't have a ton of those in there. He's got a bunch in his brain, but
Working on it.
when it comes to the Deity candles, first he gets the idea or inspiration for what it is that he wants to do, and then he has to think about what kind of charm he would like to embed in the candle. Then he has to go out and look for a charm that's appropriate and find a supplier that isn't going to cost an arm and a leg, and that's sustainable or whatever. And then he has to think about research and learn about what kind of blend he'll want to use in the candle. There's like many steps. So while I'm sure at some point we'll have lots of deity candles in the shop, at present we only have a few. Today I wanted to specifically talk about his Norse deity candles, which are the ones that they're like his most recent addition to the shop as far as deity candles go. Actually, as far as candles go.
Yeah.
He has 5 from the Norse pantheon in there, and while there are plenty of other gods or goddesses that he could decide to make candles for in that pantheon moving forward, I think that he started off with his choices were really good, in my opinion. Yeah. So before we talk about the individual candles and what they are, I thought maybe we could discuss what exactly maybe your inspiration or desire, where the desire came from to make these candles, if there is any specific inspiration.
Well, that's where it always comes from. I just don't want to pick something and make something out of it just because I want there to be a reason behind it, something that's personal to me, or a different kind of spiritual working, magic, or tradition that speaks to me. So I don't want to just make a product just to make it. I want it to have meaning, so I do the research behind it to try to be respectful of the path.
But what made you want to make the Norse deity candles?
I've always been drawn to Greek and Norse mythology. Ever since I was little and learning about it, it always spoke to me, and looking more into it as I got older through world religion classes in college and on my own path, certain things spoke to me. So I work with many different types of deity, and I don't know, I was inspired to maybe get that out to the information out to people who don't know and are seekers, and maybe that would help them. Or if they do work, you don't really see too many specific candles or products made that aren't mass produced, that are made by hand, that have taken the proper research. It's something someone put their energy and I don't know. It's a different process to me. I would rather offer that. I would rather pay someone for that when they've done their research, do it by the day, the moon sign, the energy, whatever it is, instead of just going to the store. You can go to any store and get.
To me, your candles and my candles are more, well, the hand molded candles are more special occasion candles to me. They're like, I don't know.
Depends on how they want to use it. The way the candles.
Well, it's for me. It's because the way they burn.
Yeah, you could stop it from burning, but it'd be hard because there is so much packed into it, intention and everything.
So, like, in part the way they burn, and then you get like your little charm to keep and possibly work with in other ways in the future or whatever.
That's the idea. Yeah.
Whereas if I use, for example, store-bought beeswax candles for my daily devotional with Aset, and I don't have a problem with that. But like, if it's like a special festival, or I want something a bit more special, and to me that's what the hand molded candles are. I, of course, already knew that you have always sort of been drawn to Norse mythology and whatnot, but I knew that like our audience might not know that, so that's why I asked the question.
The first one would be Odin, and just the most well-known of the Norse gods, at least in my experience. War god, god of wisdom, poetry, divination, magic, known as the All-Father. He always has two ravens with him that represent him, so I tried to find a medallion or a charm that can be used after you burn it, and that's what I found. I mean, the closest thing I could get that
It would have been nice if it had two, and maybe in the future, because the charms can change from time to time depending on, again, we might not be able to get the same one again. The prices may have changed. We might have found one that better suits the candle, that kind of thing.
I mean, I could get the coolest of charms and really nice, but I'd have to charge $50-$60 for a candle, and I don't want to do that. So if I could get something that you could have afterwards, after you burn the candle, and let the energy off and still work with that in the future, that's the main intention of having the charm. So you can still do workings with it even after you burn the candle. So it's not just a one-time working when possible, which it's harder to find. Like I said, you can get some really nice charms, but you're going to be spending a lot of money for them. And I try not to get something too crazy so people can't afford to get our products.
And you choose the colors based.
The colors represented what I feel. I'll sit with the colors. There's usually 3 or 4 that are representative of deity, and then the herbs specifically are the ones represented with the color. To me is what speaks to me and what I think it should be, and what I see, the research I do, the representation, whatever I can find.
So essentially, kind of like with my Sabbath candles, because there are more than one color they could be, at some point in the future it could change, but it could also be like Odin's candle could be blue for the rest of the time he makes Odin's candle, but there could come a time where he feels drawn to one of the other colors more or something. But basically any color he chooses for a deity candle is is a color that is associated with that deity that he was drawn to.
And then there's Thor with Mjolnir in the middle. It's his weapon, and it's most known for through anything pop culture and pagan work and everything. And like I said, the color representative of him, and all the herbs in there specifically representative of Thor, and all the research that I did. God of lightning, thunderstorms, sacred groves, trees, strength, and protector of mankind. So that's Thor.
And of course, as with all of our candles, we have a little blurb in the description. All of these candles are listed under one listing. It is the Norse deity candles. And then there's a brief little description about each deity. And it's pretty clear which, I think I even put like the color of the candle in parentheses beside their name, just so it's clear what candle you'd be ordering for each deity.
And now the last 3 were the hardest ones to find something to work with. And probably this one was the hardest. It was Freya.
You would think it would be really easy to find a cool cat charm that would be priced reasonably. No, they're so expensive.
So I found ones that had her name in runes and all the representation, the flowers, the herbs packed in there. But yeah, that was one of the harder ones to find. And she's the goddess associated with love, beauty, fertility, sex, war, and gold. And her day is Friday, and that's Freya.
Yeah, she's got pretty flowers all over the front of all her candles. And again, it's probably not the easiest to see, but those are the runes for her name. And it's obviously like a bright, almost sunlight gold color behind.
And then Loki.
He was also a difficult one to find a cool charm for.
Which usually,
but we worked it out.
It's 2 snakes that wrap around each other and bite the tails. It's supposed to represent his son, the world serpent. And I could only find the one, but it's enough snake where it looks like it's 2. When you look at the symbols and the pictures, is the closest I could find.
Not to mention it's green.
And snakes are representative of Loki, and with him being a shapeshifter, being able to shift his sex and everything, appearance. But in a lot of the stories, they were used to represent him, and in the stories to punish him. And it's just what spoke to me the most. And it's one that I'm working with right now, and it's I really like it. He's the god of mischief, and a lot of people have the misconception that he's evil or that he's bad, but his main purpose is to bring about change. He brought about one of the main reasons that Ragnarok happened, which the ending of everything in Norse mythology, but then it starts over again and everything's reborn. So it's a catalyst to move things along. It's not necessarily a bad or a good thing, it's a necessary aspect.
And for me, this is the coolest charm. This is the one I love the most.
And the last one is
Hell.
Hell. And yet another hard one to find. That's there aren't too many representations out there that I've felt comfortable with, because she's depicted as half skull and half flesh on her face, and presides over Niflheim. And the other gods in Asgard didn't like the appearance, so Odin sent her away and let her rule over that, just because her appearance was too grotesque. But basically, the Norse goddess of the dead, and one of Loki's children, his only daughter, would be her. And she's associated with crows.
So technically we could have put like a raven or a crow in here, but I really love the charm that he found for her.
Yeah, it's copper. I just have a thing for copper.
Yeah, we have a huge thing for copper, so.
I think it's a really good representation. It could be like a charm or a coin that you carry around with you and work with.
And if you work with any of these specific deities, of course you could add the charm, the piece, to their altars. If you have that kind of thing, whatever. You could enchant them, you could program them, use them as amulets, and
Because I put my energy and stuff into it, but then it's up to the buyer, the practitioner, to do what they're going to do with it. And so it's kind of like a joint give and take of energy. And I have my reasons for making it, but I just put the energy and time and the representation into it. But you do whatever you want with it, whatever you feel is right. And your workings, because everyone may follow the same path, but they do different workings in different ways. There's no one way to do everything, so it's up to interpretation.
Okay, well, that's the Norse deity candles. Thank you for joining us and talking about your candles with everybody. And
more to come very soon.
Yeah, we will keep you updated as new candles come in, obviously. And as always, thanks for hanging out. Until next time, much love and gratitude.
Thanks for watching. Bye.